culture's competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It just don't make sense.
50 Cent and Eminem are officially teaming up, and they're pointing the finger straight at Jay-Z with zero chill. They're calling out alleged shady deals, stolen credits, award show manipulation, and careers that supposedly fizzled after running into the wrong people. This isn't background chatter anymore, it's full-on flames. 50's claiming Jay-Z's still busy blocking his business moves even now.
Well, that vote is fake as f. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
In 2025, Eminem's been dropping warning signs for years. Cryptic bars about how grubby and rigged the industry is. Lately, those hints have been showing up in tracks, like little breadcrumbs about powerful gatekeepers pulling strings. And now Beyonce's name keeps getting dragged into the mess. Accusations of stolen songwriting credits and allegedly blackballing other women. Folks are bringing up names like Aaliyah, Maya, Mary J. Blige, and Carrie Hilson, artists who seem to disappear from the spotlight without much explanation.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones.
Jay-Z and Beyoncé's close ties to Diddy are setting off alarm bells again. People are asking questions. Jay might have dodged a lawsuit from a Jane Doe, but now the alleged victim is hinting at pressure to stay silent after an unsettling visit to her door. That's chilling stuff. So the headline is, are Jay-Z and Beyoncé really the flawless power couple they sell, or pros at sweeping things under the rug? Have they stayed on top by stepping on others? And do 50 and M actually have receipts that could expose a system that's wrecked careers? Maybe worse?
So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine. That's theirs. They harbor it, right? But when you look at M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like it do so much G-Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's art.
For years, Jay and Beyoncé were untouchable. Call them out and you'd get torn down as bitter or jealous. But this time 50 says he's got receipts. Back in 2023, he claimed Jay tried blocking him from the Super Bowl halftime stage using NFL connections to pull strings. Wild, right? But the plan reportedly backfired, especially because Eminem wasn't having any of it.
Sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? And that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
Which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
That bold move, if true, shows how far Jay might go to keep 50 out of the spotlight. Fast forward to 50's recent sit-down on Talk with Flea with Cameron, and he's naming names again. 50 says Jay's still moving dirty behind the scenes, not just in music, but in boardrooms. And according to 50, Jay already proved plenty, yet the alleged sabotage keeps coming.
Oh boy was doing with the Super Bowl, because he was doing like,
yeah, go ahead.
He was doing some wild, because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me, and I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right? Makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that I'm talking about Jay-Z, this was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl that had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. I think it's just when you take the competition from. Look, our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, you're not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even like a lot of even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment. When before that they called it babbling in our culture. Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through with you.
Yet despite past proof, 50 claims Jay's still trying to torpedo his business deals out of pure spite, like he just can't let it go. And it escalates. 50 and Eminem are now teaming up publicly, ready to accuse the Grammys of being rigged. 50's pointing at Jay, saying he's leveraged his marriage to Beyoncé like a cheat code to scoop awards. Eminem's been calling the Grammys a pay-to-win racket for years. And when Beyoncé snagged Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, not everyone celebrated. Whispers started that Jay pulled strings again, especially given what happened the year before.
Andre Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, showed us that we can be rock stars, seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith, but when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Some of you don't belong in the category. No, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
Jay-Z hit the Grammy stage and called out the Academy for snubbing Beyoncé. But the whole moment felt off. Fans weren't buying it. Here's Jay holding their trophy, blasting the same folks who handed it over. The backlash was instant. If the Grammys are really that crooked, why even show up? Why not just walk away and prove you don't need their approval instead of begging for it on stage? That awkward vibe only got people talking louder. Are the Carters really racking up wins off pure talent? Or is there something darker? Big money, backroom deals, maybe even blackmail, keeping them on top? Insiders have whispered for years that Grammys aren't about talent at all. It's politics, it's handshakes, and nobody's called that out harder than Eminem. He said from day one the show's a scam, and he meant it, so much so he swore off attending completely. But don't get it twisted, M's not bitter about losing. He said flat out, if another artist drops a better album, he'll respect it. What grinds him down is the way the Grammys use his name. Hype him up, plaster his face all over promos, make fans think he's about to win, then pull the rug and shut him out. Smoke and mirrors. And when asked if joining the voting crew would change his mind, M didn't even blink. No way. Why? In his words, it's rigged to the core.
50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys. That was stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to the Grammys.
And he's not alone. 50 Cent's riding shotgun, tossing even more shade. He's not just saying the Grammys are fixed, he flat out claims Jay-Z's trophies have nothing to do with music. According to 50, Jay's stacking awards because of who he's married to. The Recording Academy knows the deal. If Jay and Bey pull up, the ratings spike, the headlines roll, and the show trends everywhere. So the solution? Keep nominating them, keep handing them trophies, and keep the power couple in the building. But 50 didn't stop there. On his flagrant podcast, Sit Down, he went harder, saying Jay's entire empire, all those Grammys, aren't built on raw talent, but on that marriage. And then he crossed a line. 50 called Jay and Beyoncé's relationship a contract. Just business, just image, a partnership for power. Wild, right? But it's not just 50. Whispers have circled for years that Jay and Bey allegedly block other artists, making sure no one else shines too bright. Always them. Always center stage. And then comes the chilling story of Beyoncé's former bodyguard, Uncle Ron. Before he passed from pneumonia, he went public saying he had receipts. Real evidence that Jay and Bey crushed careers, wrecked lives, and silenced rising stars just to lock down their throne. He claimed he knew too much. And when he died, let's just say the timing got people talking. And of course, there's Jaguar Wright, once a backup singer for Jay, now one of his fiercest critics. She's been spilling heavy tea, accusing Jay of being tied to the mysterious downfall and even deaths of people around him. Like Harlem's own Big L. Back in the early 90s, Big L was a legend in the making. Crazy freestyles, Columbia deal, the streets buzzing his name. Even after Columbia dropped him, he bounced back, started his own label, and was on the verge of breaking big. Dame Dash was eyeing him. His shot was coming. Then, tragedy. February 15th, 1999, Big L was killed in a Harlem drive-by. Case cold to this day. No justice. No closure. And Jaguar, she's convinced Jay had a hand in it. That's the cloud hanging over his name right now. Suspicion, whispers, and a lot of unanswered questions.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as the that was with Big L.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the dopest. One of the dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z.
From one legend to another, let's shift the spotlight to DMX. He was one of the very few rappers, aside from 50 Cent, bold enough to call out Jay-Z face to face. X never held back, saying Jay was jealous, bitter, and always moving shady. And when Jay stepped into that Def Jam president role in 2004, things got messy fast. Remember, DMX had been carrying Def Jam on his back with 5 straight #1 albums from 98 to 2003.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again. Okay.
But when it came time for his 6th release, Year of the Dog Again, X swore Jay intentionally held it back just to clear the lane for his own comeback. Power plays, all about control.
The game is bullshit, man. The game is bullshit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, you know what I'm saying, what it's about. The industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a f***ing game. The industry, real is dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap. The industry.
And it didn't stop there. In 2005, DMX dropped The Industry, a track that ripped the mask off, exposing all the shady games behind the scenes. Wildest part? Nearly everything he called out back then still happens today. Even Irv Gotti, a major industry player, admitted it. Jay was jealous of X. Irv claimed Jay and his mentor Leor Cohen would laugh, convinced DMX would never break through. But X proved them dead wrong. And Jay's name doesn't just stick to that beef, it shows up with Beanie Sigel too. Beanie's been open about how it felt like someone was always pulling strings to keep him capped. He said Jay would drop albums at the same time as his, soaking up all the spotlight so Beanie could never rise too high. Like, there was a ceiling he wasn't allowed to break. And yes, Beanie owned up to making mistakes, especially with the law. But he still insists the sabotage was real.
One man can destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe.
And he made it clear, Jay's moves weren't accidental. Every step was calculated. And let's be real, Beyoncé's not just an innocent bystander in all this. Some people try to paint her as Jay's puppet, but come on. There's no way she stood beside him all these years without being part of the plan. If anything, the two of them have been running the board together, allegedly pushing out anyone who looked like a threat. Here's just a taste. When Beyoncé left Destiny's Child and got close to Jay, something suspicious happened. Jay allegedly pulled producer Rich Harrison away from rising star Amiri, who was heating up with hits and seen as real competition. Remember one thing? That track had the same fire vibe as Crazy in Love. To this day, fans think Beyoncé copied the whole formula after Harrison switched sides. And then there's Keri Hilson. Her clash with Beyoncé spun way out of control. Rumor is, her own producers set her up, tricking her into recording a diss track aimed at Bey, just to get her dragged. Keri denied it at first, but things got ugly when she refused to hold a magazine cover featuring Jay and Bey. That's when the Hive went after her hard. She faced insane backlash, even harassment in public. But behind the curtain, whispers swirled. Beyoncé allegedly had plants in Keri's camp, lining her up for that diss while she stayed squeaky clean as the victim. And years later, in a 2020 interview, Keri basically confirmed it, saying she was pressured into recording that track. And the threats she got afterward? 100% real. That wasn't just beef. That was career sabotage dressed up as drama.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this.
And we definitely can't leave out Kelis. She flat out accused Beyoncé of straight up stealing after Bey sampled her legendary track Milkshake without giving her a single ounce of credit. The craziest part? Kelis didn't even know until fans online told her. She found out the same way we did, through social media. She posted, "I heard about this the same way everyone else did. Nothing is ever as it seems. Some people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they've got everyone fooled." Later, Kelis jumped on Instagram to really unpack it. For her, this wasn't just about a song, it was about respect. She pointed out how few Black female artists actually hold weight in the industry, and with all the mutual friends and connections, a simple phone call could have solved it. Kelis said it herself. "It's not that hard to reach me, it's just common decency." But instead of apologizing or addressing it, Beyoncé quietly yanked the sample and stayed silent. No accountability, no statement, just silence. And then, there's Maya, a name people don't hear enough anymore, but for all the wrong reasons. Word is she got blackballed after allegedly turning down Jay-Z's advances. Maya's been blunt in interviews, saying powerful people in this game abuse their positions, trapping young artists in dangerous spots. She said no, walked away, but that choice cost her. According to Maya, refusing certain folks meant her reputation got smeared and her career quietly pushed aside. So let's line this up. 50 Cent, Eminem, Kelis, Maya, Jaguar Wright, DMX, Beanie Sigel, the list goes on. The real question is loud and clear. Are Jay-Z and Beyoncé just protecting their empire, or are they actually sabotaging anyone who threatens their throne? And crazy enough, this list isn't even complete. If we missed a name, drop it in the comments right now. What do you think? Are the Carters truly untouchable, or just masters at sweeping mess under the rug? Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with your crew. For more wild stories pulling back the curtain on the music industry, ring that bell so you never miss a drop. See you in the next one.